Supper with Lisa, and I'm on time, 8 o'clock p.m. UK time. I really need to find out what the proper name for UK time is. I heard it the other day, but I can't remember what it is. And on time, so 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time in Canada, and then anywhere else in Canada you can go off of that one. So I noticed there's not as many people online this Sunday evening. And so sometimes I think I'm just going to do a simple background. Oh, I know. I'll go in the kitchen and I'll use that little cabinet in the corner that we're temporarily using for storage and stuff until we finish renovating the kitchen. Oh, that'll be cute. Put a few plants on it and it'll be, yeah. And then I start moving everything because our knife blocks go right here right now. So moving things and then bringing in more plants. And then I don't, you know, the door is over there and then this is here and this is another thing that we're using temporarily for drawers until we put it in our kitchen, but we don't want to put it in the kitchen until we do the extension. And to do the extension, we need to move the drains. So we need a builder to move we need to take down the trees, which is the shredder. So I finally tried out the shredder. I posted a video of me and Steve trying out the shredder. So we need to cut down the trees, remove the trees. Then we got to move the drains over to the side, and then we got to, you know, build the addition, and that'll give us our utility room and everything else, and then we can do the kitchen. That's not Steve, that's me. I want the utility room and pantry done, so then I know whatever goes in there for the utility room and the pantry, then I'll know how many cupboards and stuff we want in the kitchen, instead of putting, I mean, you can always use extra storage space, but why make the kitchen so squishy with cupboards if you don't need all of them? So that is, I have a wet spot on my shirt here because in my being slow to get ready, this is my shower plait. You know, when after I have a shower and before I go to bed, usually I plait my hair, braid if you're North American, but yeah, so it's still wet and it's getting me so this is my background. Took me a bit to put everything in order. These plants don't always sit here. They are from other areas in the house, and as soon as I bring on my guest, my area will squish down a little bit so you won't see some of this stuff. I know everybody loves this guy. I have a few different groups, and this is one of my favorite ones. He's giving, like, his hair. So I don't know if he's my favorite Groot, but he is. But I love this air plant that I have for his hair. So yeah, I'll just put that back up there. And good evening to all who are watching and have said hello to me. Also, this necklace was from my late Auntie Lorene. It's one of my favorite necklaces, and I got it obviously before she passed away. It's hard to tell on there, but these are purple stones, and the green. I don't know what type of stone it's made out of, but I really like this necklace. So I thought the green going with the plants and everything else would work. So yes, I guess the best thing to do is to bring on my guest, because as much as I can ramble, it's more fun when we have guests. And there's some things that I want to talk about with my guest, but there's also some things I want to talk about what I should do with guests in the future. So the best way to do that is bring on a guest, and then we can talk about all those things that I want to talk about. And if you want to talk about things, just put them in the comments. Sorry if I freeze while I'm adding the person. And this person this week is, I'll tell you when they come on, in case it takes a while. It shouldn't, but I wonder why there's not as many people online today as other Sundays. Last week was Valentine's and there was still a lot of people online. And when I say that, I don't know how many people in the world are online. I just mean people that are on my... Hello, sister friend.
Hello. Sorry, I forgot I had to have my phone horizontal.
Yeah. Do you know how I remember the difference between horizontal and vertical?
No, I don't know how you do, but I think of the horizon out at the lake on like a sunset.
Yeah, that's what I think of. The horizon is horizontal, so the long way this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, how is your lamp?
How is my what?
Are you using a ring light?
I am, yeah.
Do you like it? Have you practiced with it before? Have you played with it?
No, this morning I did and checked the different light settings and decided, you know, maybe what would be the best or if it would be too bright or not bright enough. So I played with it a little today.
Sometimes I do that while I'm on too, which I know I should figure it out before, but like I see right now that I'm really bright. But sometimes it's in between. If I go too low, see now there's shadows over here, but I'm in the kitchen and the light, it's fluorescent light. So usually it's good lighting in here, but one of our fluorescent lights stopped working. Not just the bulb, but or the starter, but it's actually stopped working. So
Samantha wants to know what a ring light is.
Samantha, the the lights that YouTubers use and stuff, like it holds your phone and then the light is like a ring around, and so it lights up your whole face in the background and stuff, so you don't have shadows. That's why I look so great on camera. So it lights it up, and instead of, like I said, if I shut it off right now and if I was doing my live without the light, it would look like this, which is still okay, but it's not good unless you have a good area in your house, and especially because I move around. So this makes it better for me to be able to move anywhere. Not only that, I can when I turn it on, there's also different settings. So you can do the soft, that's like I don't know my lights, but that's harsh and that's like warm, I guess.
I think I have the warm setting on, like the kind of yellow toned.
Like it's like for evening. I think about when you're doing your makeup. This is the kind of lighting you would do your evening makeup in. And that and then that's I like bright lights, so that's like my brightest one. That's like fluorescent, like but I'll turn it down a little bit. So then so that's what a ring light is. I can show you a picture of it after, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I don't know what the technical name is for it. Did it say ring light on your box for it? I put mine in.
You know what? I can, one sec.
I put mine back in its box every week, because mine packs up real nice. Ring tail light.
You can see.
Yeah, and when you first brought the box on, you could see the reflection of your ring light as well. Right there.
Oh yeah, if I go like that.
Yeah. So I'm sure Samantha understands what we're talking about now.
Yeah, and then there's a holder that comes up here and you clip your phone in. And so your phone's sitting in the center. Down here is a rod and then a tripod, so you have it sitting on
your table.
Well, right now I have it sitting on like a what is it, a TV tray?
Yeah, TV table or dinner tray.
Yeah.
Dinner table. I don't know what it's called. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The one I have now is like it's got a really long stick and then a big base and then it like folds up and it's really awesome. But it's funny because I told you guys before that I broke the one that I got for my birthday, and instead of Steve being mad, he bought me an even better one, which is this one. But he has the one that I broke, kind of fixed, but he has it behind his Mac in the office. So if he does anything on his Mac, then he has one behind there. So we don't move it because we don't want to break it any more than I broke it.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Meg. Hi, everyone else who's watching. Okay, so what I want to talk about with guests, you and I talked about some things to talk about, but something I want to talk about is like I think I want to do like a 20 question type thing or something. And
okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, no, I don't have the questions now, but what I want the people watching and for you being a guest, I want to know what things, because I want the shows to be interesting. I want people to want to watch them. And lots of it is just rambling, which is the point of it. But also maybe if I did like a 20 question, just things that, because I find people interesting. I find, and I don't want like celebrities, because I have so many celebrity friends, as my people to interview. I want regular, normal, average, everyday, plain Janes like you, Mel. So
thank you.
Just kidding. I just want like all random, obviously friends and family are going to be my first guests because those are the people I know. But I want to know what makes those people who they are and what's special about them. So it could be questions like, do you believe in an afterlife? Or what's your favorite hobby? Or if you had enough money to not have to work, what would you do with your time? Or I don't know, things like that. Do you know what I was?
I had seen my ring light sliding off the table, so you'll see me in there going,
Oh, that's funny. Why is it sliding off your?
I was adjusting.
Okay,
You should just leave it.
so Meg asked, what is your most similar quality as siblings? I'll let you answer first. Curly hair.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Similar quality.
Loud. I'm loud.
Yeah, like a lot of things are similar between you and I. You know, not just the hair and the loudness, but I think some of our beliefs and how we present ourselves to the world. I know there is differences. Obviously, you're more outgoing. I'm an introvert, so I like, you know, keeping it on the down low.
I would say that's a difference between me and you is that because I mean I can be introverted as well in some ways, like you know, like I like to be alone and that kind of thing. But and I need that time. But I think you're more of a private person, so you're outgoing enough to talk to people and everything else. But you keep a lot of your personal, you know, your things that you think and something you keep a lot of things not secret in a way like that it's a bad thing, but you're a lot more private. You're not going to just put it all
more
out there. And whereas I'm like the opposite. So that's a difference, but similarities. Yeah, I think we have the same belief systems and stuff like that for the most part, but that's because we were raised. I think we both like the way we were raised. We like who our parents are, and how they raised us. So we kept a lot of the same belief systems and stuff that we were raised with.
Yeah. I mean, for who asked that question, Megan, for the most part, I mean, we're almost the same height. There were times where we were the same build, but obviously Lisa's a lot a trimmer and firmer now from working out for, what is it, 184 days or something?
No, today's 188 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, 188 days straight. But yeah, I know we talked some our cousin Alicia posted on my Instagram when I put up my picture from the other day of like the transformation from 6 months. She said, "Oh, you must feel so great." And I said, "I'm really proud of myself, but I don't really have any more energy." And I'm waiting for this. It happens every time I work out. I'm like, how come people say like you get more energy? And like, when do I get this energy? When does it, you know, it's been 6 months. When is the energy package going to come? But Steve says, but Lisa, you do like, you clean this, you do that in the day, you do like, you get all these things done. So you must have some energy. And I'm like, yeah, but it just always feels like I'm forcing myself to do those things. Like, I just want, you know, so I don't necessarily, it's not like I'm running on like, you know, it's not like eating healthy and working out has made me feel like, oh, I feel so great and I'm energized and I feel like I could run a marathon or anything like that. I still have to force myself to do my workout every day, and I give it all I have. But I don't know if it's because I'm like almost 10 years older than the last time I worked out and got in shape, or if it's hormones. I don't know what it is, and I can't beat myself up because I see the difference, but at the same time, I thought that I'd be further along after 6 months than I am. I'm not giving up, but
from the picture, there's a big difference in how you've toned and trimmed. You can see it, like it's very evident when you look at it.
Is it?
And that's the biggest thing. Like, pardon me?
Is it though? Because it's not to me. Like my son, I can see that in the mirror. Like I see, and Steve says like it's even smoother here. I'm like, yeah, you don't. And he goes, if I run my hand here, it's smoother. I'm like, yeah, you don't get lost in the boo 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 boo. But so I see it, I know, and I feel it, but at the same time, I haven't lost any weight, and my body size is the same. But yeah, you don't see the rolls as much.
But you're gaining muscle, which weighs more.
Yes.
So you might never really see a difference because you're converting what was fat into lean toned muscle, which is going to weigh more. The scale is never a good indicator. You have to use how you feel, how your clothes fit, and just doing the progress pictures. Like you can, you know, visually see that it's making a big impact.
Well, it's the strength too.
That back roll faded right away.
It's still there, but it's not as big. I can't like hide candies in it anymore. But
Hold your phone.
pardon?
You have to, if your hands are full, you need to hold your phone. You just put it
Everything
underneath.
in a different role. It's my strength too. I can tell with my strength that I can do things that I wasn't able to do, or I can do it better. But I don't know why, like, seriously, sit-ups and push-ups are still the hardest. I can do push-ups, but I'm like, when do these get easier? When do I get to do 20 instead of 10? That, you know, easily. Like, you see people in the military, and they're just like, I'm struggling at, you know, to get to 10. But because I really use all my weight pushing on my arms, like I really do it like properly, right? And it's like it's probably one of the most effective things, but it's still one. I can't believe that push-ups and sit-ups, the basic things, are some of the hardest moves to do.
And they are, and it takes a lot of natural progression to get up there. Like, you're doing the full-blown push-up. You're not doing on your knees.
Yeah, I'm doing on day one of the shred.
So right there is a progression. A lot of people can't do more than one or two.
I started on my knees.
Like that.
I started on my knees. And that's the thing, when people look at my yoga pictures, and even Steve said, oh, it's a good thing I don't do yoga if you're something. And I said, why? And he's like, because I'd never get back up. And I was like, but you don't start at that. Like, if my legs were straight out and I was trying, you know, and I can bend to my leg, I might have started like, you know, like this. Just like, you know, trying to reach. But every time you get a little bit closer. It's not like you start being, and you know, because you've done yoga as well, you don't just start being that flexible.
Exactly. And it does take a long time. Like, one of the biggest things when I was working out were the moves where you have to, I can't really, your hands are behind your back and you push up, so kind of like in a back bend, let's say. And I couldn't even get myself off the ground.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
I mean, that's true. That is a good point. Like, maybe after 6 months, I can only do 10 push-ups. Good. But at the beginning, I couldn't even do one.
Before.
Yeah, they're, I just can't believe, it's just funny because it is your weight, but it's interesting how it's a simple move, but it's one of the hardest moves. And it's like, it's something that I want to conquer. Every time I do them, I think I could not be in the military, because when they say drop and give me 10, I'd be like, yeah, I can give you 10, but that's about it. I know you build up to it, but my arms are not as strong as I'd like them to be. But other things, I think, how easy. So, okay, this is the thing. I haven't added the pictures yet, but somebody else added photos that they were doing the splits, and they were, I don't know what the right term is. I can't remember, but it's like conditioning yourself to do a move. So they've been conditioning over however many weeks or months to do the splits. And I just thought, well, I've been doing yoga for 6 months. I wonder how close to the splits I can get. You know, not the ones where you're like just straight out like that, but where you do one in front, one in the back. Well, actually, the way my fingers look, it was basically like that. I could get this leg pretty straight, and then this one's just my knee. And then I did it the other way, and it was basically the same. And I was surprised because I'd never been able to do the splits in my life. And without conditioning myself to specifically do that move, I was surprised how low I could already get. So it's something that I might keep trying for. So I know there is differences, and I'm glad to hear, like, you know, it's not that I need the pat on the back, or, you know, but it's so frustrating when you're doing the work every day and you're not cheating. You're not, you know, because you know the thing is that you can cheat, but you're only cheating yourself, right? Like, so I'm not cheating. I'm giving it all I have every day, and I'm not giving up. But some days you just think, ugh. But then most of the time when I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror and I think, yeah, that's nice. You know, that looks a lot better than when you get up, because we have those big mirrors in our room, right? So when I get out of bed, I literally am walking towards a mirror, and yeah, in the past it's been like, yeah, you need to work on that. But now most of the time it's like, yeah, that's all right. Okay, so I have these pajamas that I got. You know how Steve recycles textiles? That's what he does for a living. So he brought home this clothes that was pretty new. So I got these sets of pajamas. I let the girls go through the clothes first. I would say the kids, but the boys don't really want the girls' clothes. But so the girls go through it first. They didn't want these sets of pajamas, and I don't really wear pajamas, or I would rather not, because I don't like clothes like they just get in the way. Like, especially when I'm sleeping, you know, like during a nightgown and I get twisted because I move a lot. But most of these were like with the tank top type ones. So here they call them vest tops. So that like this, you know, like something that is tight and isn't really tight, but you know what I mean, that I won't get tangled in while I'm sleeping. So a lot of them are with that and the little pants or like 3/4 length pants. And you know, here they call them trousers. But I can have those hanging on the chair. The thing is that because we have boys here too, if I need to walk to the bathroom, I either need to put on my robe, which again I hate because it's in the way and everything, or I need to put on clothes. So anyways, there's these pajamas, but because they're a few sizes too small for me, I can still wear them and they're good for sleeping in, but they're a bit small for me. Like I wouldn't walk around in public in them, kind of thing. So one day, I swear Steve said this, but then he's like, no, that's not what I said. But then I went with it. I swear he said something about a sausage skin. And I thought, oh my God, that's so funny. Like when you try to stuff the meat into a sausage skin. So now when I put them on, because they're a bit tight, I say, oh, I'm putting on my sausage skins. But I like them because they remind me to keep going. You know, wear something a little bit too small and then you'll remind yourself, oh, maybe I don't need that extra taco or that extra, you know. But if you wear, like, that's what they say, especially if you're working out, don't wear sweatpants, although I wear sweatpants most days. But don't wear sweatpants because they're deceiving. You'll gain a little and gain a little and gain a little and your pants will still fit and you know what I mean? But try and put on your jeans and you'll know right away if you've gained or lost.
Yeah.
So nobody's really commented besides that, but Mom said more tactful, which is going back to you to talking about me being more outgoing and you being more private. Mom says that you're more tactful at it than I am.
I guess. That's her opinion.
You don't know what to do with the silence now when I stop talking.
I don't know what to do with it. You're right, I'll just stare at you.
Yeah, because it's not common for me to stop talking and let another person speak. What did you think of having Mom on last week?
You know what? Getting everything set up was a little hard. Like it's so hard when you're trying to tell someone what to do over text, where you can't just, you know, show them, you know, go here, go here, go here. But once she was on, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I know, and I should have thought about those. There's those things that we don't think about, right? Because me and her video chat all the time, so I didn't even think that you'd have to. And I should have known because, like I said, I had to do it on these when I started. That I had to allow the camera and everything. But yeah, but mostly I was asking like, what did you think about her as my guest? I think because I haven't watched it back, so I don't know how it was. But I know that I loved how much she laughed. She seemed so, and maybe it was nerves, but she didn't seem nervous. She seemed to laugh and be happy, and that makes me happy.
No, with her on there was great. I loved when both of you would start laughing. I really noticed that you have Mom's smile.
Aww.
Like if you do back and look in the video, there'll be times that you're both laughing and smiling, and it's the same.
Oh, that's good. Why did it say Tina Kenny is watching 3 times on my thing?
I don't know.
So yeah, that was because when we started laughing the most. Just 1 second. Good night. Love you.
Good night, Erica.
Good night, Auntie. When we were laughing the most was when because she had an echo, and then she said, I'm hearing the answers before we, and I'm like, you're hearing the answers before we even say them? And then
yeah. I mean, I believe there was some nervousness there because I don't believe this is something that Mom has done before, but she did excellent.
That's what I'm saying.
And I love seeing your different guests all the time. Like I know this morning you're like, well, would you like to be my guest? And I'm like, okay, well, I haven't did it for a while. It's probably time. But I love just sitting back and also just watching you and your guests, right? So
me too, and I want to have more guests. So anybody out there who wants to be my guest, message me, and because I have a long list of people who I want, and I know there's some people who have talked to me about it and that they are going to be my guests, but it's just a matter of the right Sunday, and then obviously the time difference. So for Canadian guests, and
I know this morning you're like, think of some topics. And I was like, I haven't even had my morning coffee yet. I can't even like I had just gotten out of bed maybe 15 minutes before that.
Right. And then there's me who's like, okay, I'm about to do my workout and I got to, and I'm just, and I made supper and then, cause it's late for me now. So now I'm winding down and you're just getting started.
Do you like my beautiful streaks of white in there?
Yeah, I noticed that, Bonnie, right? I noticed
Beautiful.
I did mine the other day before my live, like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I haven't.
Have you looked at the photos or watched the video of me using the shredder?
No.
Oh,
I'll have to look for that.
but I noticed on here my hair looks like quite dark. Like even I know right now it's not even down, so it looks dark because it's wet too. But in the videos I was like, oh, or like the photos I said, oh, my hair looks a lot lighter than I thought it is. And then Mom said get Tina, which I'd love to have Tina as my guest. The problem is that she is a mother of 2 young children, not to mention that she's a teacher and works all the time. So as much as she's home on a Sunday, I'd love to have her, but it might be tough unless her husband Ryan watches the kids for an hour. I mean, not that he wouldn't be willing to. It's not like I say it like he would never watch have the kids himself. He does.
Have the kids on as a guest with her.
Yeah, we could do that too. They could at least say hi. I know I like that too. I've said that before, but even my kids, and I wish yours weren't so shy, but there's a lot of people who, even you guys, just, I mean, even I get to know some things about the girls, or, when, see, Owen, I'm going to have Owen, my stepson, as a guest as well, but he plays D&D on Sunday nights. So, but it's nice to get to know their personalities, or for people who haven't seen them for a long time or have never seen them, to see what they're like.
Yeah.
So we talked about the topic of, so I'm in the kitchen right now, and I'm like right in front of me is Lena's bowl, her water and her food. So I'm obviously not gonna not let her come in here. But also we had supper, so she's mooching around, looking on the ground to see if anything. We had tacos, chicken and beef tacos. So she's checking if there's anything on the floor. So anyways, back to topic.
I would be too.
I would let you have the food off the counter instead, Mel.
I'd still look on the floor too, just in case.
So I put all these plants around here because I thought, I saw, when you like one post on social media and then they keep showing you all the stuff like as if you're obsessed with that. So I like this one post of this jungle. It's called I can't remember, Jungle Gardener. It's like house plants. So then they kept showing me all these different homes with lots of house plants. And I was like, oh yeah, I love that. I love that. And if I didn't have a big garden outside, or I was better with houseplants, I might have more houseplants. I know this looks like I have a lot, and I do, but they don't sit like this. They're all in different rooms. So I collected them and put them here because, so going back, when I saw, how before my lives, a couple hours before my lives, I put a picture on and it's a Bitmoji. Yeah, it's like
your rambling hour.
Yeah, the cartoon me. One. Yeah, and then but as soon as I went on today to choose one, that one with all the plants was there, and I thought, oh my God, that's so awesome. But then I thought, and I said this to Allison last week. Do you know? I don't know if you noticed, but the one last week, I was in a chair. I had a cat, and it said Happy Valentine's Day. So I chose that one, and because I sit in a chair, obviously, and then I have my little kitty that I had for the Valentine's Day, and it said so it just worked. And I thought, oh, imagine I like try and make my outfit and my background match the sticker that I'm going to use, like the Bitmoji. So when I saw the plant, when I thought, oh, why don't I do that for a background? So that's what I did. But it also made me think about all the people who are seeing my gardening pictures and getting upset, especially Canadians, like because there's so much snow there still and they're getting antsy. It's that time of year when people are getting antsy to get outside and they're wanting spring to come, and spring's right around the corner and everything else. But the thing is, like, when you have all these plants like this, it doesn't even matter if there was snow outside. This feels like life, this feels good. So tell me how things are with you, and I know you guys aren't in lockdown. We're still in lockdown. Thank you, Samantha. She said she likes that. And but with all the snow and waiting for spring, and maybe some people are having cabin fever.
Well, the last couple weeks we were in a deep freeze, so a lot of -35, -40. So it was extremely cold. And you just got physically tired just knowing that you had to go outside or go to work. Luckily this week has been, I think today's supposed to be +8 today. Yesterday was +5. So at least more people can get out right now, get walking, just be outside, enjoy some sunshine. It's a little overcast today, but it's still, you know, when you walk out, you can feel the warmth. And I think it's supposed to continue on for the week.
As you can tell, Lena's having a drink.
Yeah.
You thirsty, Lena? Yeah, Tina said winter's lockdown. So for you, like you just said with the deep freeze, you don't even need to be in a lockdown. That's just Canadian way of life in the coldest months, especially when there's a lot of snow and such.
Yeah.
But wow, I can't believe that you guys are the plus. That's kind of how it's been here. It's been a bit nicer, and we're able to get outside. So that's why me and Steve yesterday got outside to do some of the, you know, the shredding. But today it was pretty rainy, so.
Mm-hmm. As for an accumulation of snow, this year, like, there's not a ton of snow out there.
Hi, Emmanuel. Hi.
You know, like where some years you have it's up to your knees or up to your waist. This year, really, if I was just to step out into the snow, let's say on the backyard, total accumulation might be maybe halfway up my shin. So there's not a ton of snow this year.
That's because Texas has got your snow.
Yeah, those poor people.
And with Emmanuel watching, he lives in Africa.
Africa.
Yeah, and he said to Steve a couple of weeks ago, he said, "Oh, it's cold today." You know, he had to put on like a sweater, or what do we call them, jumpers or cardigan, right? He's like, "Oh, it's 28 out." Ugh. And like plus 28, because usually it's in the 40s. So it is all relevant, right? Because that would be like, even plus 28, I'd be like, ugh. But in the 40s, I'd be like, even the shade of a tree wouldn't be.
Yeah, that wouldn't give much reprieve from the heat.
No. Emmanuel says, nice watching you again. I'm glad that you're back and watching, Emmanuel. Steve told me that you got a German Shepherd in the last few weeks, so that's nice. I can't remember, he did tell me what the name was, but I can't remember what it is. So congratulations on your family's new doggy. Hope that's going well.
Didn't Emmanuel used to work for Steve?
No, he does. He works for Steve in Africa. So when Steve sends stuff to Africa, there's another, like, Steve and Chris have another operation in Africa, and Emmanuel does the work there, like runs that one for them. So he comes back, and he comes over sometimes too. But yes, no, you guys didn't meet him when he was here, when you were here, did you?
I don't think so, but I remember him always, you know, he always calls Steve, yes, boss.
Yeah, he calls him boss, I know.
So I always see that on the comments. So I had originally assumed it was someone who worked for him in the UK.
Oh, right.
But then every time he said he was in Africa, I thought, oh, okay, maybe he moved back there. But now that I know there's another plant or business down in Africa, now it makes more sense.
Well, that's what Steve does, right? He ships textiles all over the world, so he'll have people all over. You're welcome, Emmanuel. So let's talk about just what were we talking about? Well, talk about houseplants. I am not.
Well, it killed an aloe vera.
Yeah, I know. I have trouble keeping them alive, and I'm not good with houseplants. Now, I can blame it on the fact that most of our radiators, which are the things that we get heat from, right, are right by the windows. So they say to, you know, you're not supposed to have your houseplants near drafts, not giraffes, drafts.
Which is hard here in the winter when all your vents are blowing all the air and drying out all your plants.
Okay, no, so cold drafts or hot drafts, yeah, or don't have them near the radiators or vents. And so, but you want them with light. So then in the winter, you want them near the windows, closer to the windows, because you want more, you know, them to get more light. But then if your windows leak and you get the cold drafts coming in, and then like I said, our radiators are there. So I don't know.
Did you mean parvo, Emmanuel? I'm so sorry to hear about that.
Oh.
That is very sad. It is something that affects a lot of dogs, a lot of puppies, I should say.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Emmanuel. Tina, I'm not, yeah, that is very sad. I'm sure the kids didn't take it well either, Emmanuel. Tina, a jade plant, some people call it a money plant, very easy, and they fall off all the time. And Steve's dad, Pierce, told me that if you don't, if piece falls off, you have to root it or it's bad luck. And I was like, oh, okay. But then now I have so many that it's like not a chance. I can't keep, but just give me 1 second. It's right outside the door and I'll show you.
And Tina, you can root that jade plant, and then if you have too many, I'll take it off your hands. I'm trying to build up my plants. I have 2 African violets now. I have grandma's plant that you can see behind me hanging.
It's a type of lily.
If I move my hand,
blooms like a amaryllis. It's a type of.
That is my avocado plant.
Oh, right. Okay.
That I grew from just an avocado seed after I was done eating the avocado. And then I have a Christmas cactus from Mom. So that's the extent of
I'm sorry.
My indoor plants. Right.
Manuel, yeah, he said the wife and kids are crying. So Tina, this is just like some of the ones that fell off, and I haven't even looked at these. I have watered it a little bit, but you don't even need to. There is some rocks and soil in here, so they just do it. Look at this. This is like some leaves that fell off of a cactus. Look at all the babies. And because they're taking their moisture and nutrients from these big leaves that fell off. So this is the way to keep cactuses alive, I think, Mel, and aloe vera, is don't care. Just throw them in here, and like, so the thing about the jade plant is that the leaf, like, bits fall off like this all the time, but the bit, you don't even need to put it in dirt or water, Tina. It'll start making roots just lying there. And most of the time when a piece of cactus or succulent falls off, even if you do stick it in like a gritty dirt, you want like gravel or sand in there so that water drains quickly from it. Even if you put it in there, you still want it to sit. And Melody, this when you don't kill an aloe vera, if you want to propagate it, you let it dry out for at least a day before you stick it into anything. You want it to seal and dry out for succulents and cactus. That's not for all plants. Some of them you don't want to dry out.
What if it's like been dried out now for 2 months?
See, this is like, and you can do this with any leaves. Like, this is like a really cute little purple one. But I don't even.
Oh yeah.
I just threw this piece in there, and you can see little roots. Because this is honestly, I should probably do something with all these. And if you guys were here, I'd give them to you. But yeah, I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But yeah, so Tina, if the pieces fall off your jade plant, which I'm sure they will, you can just let them root like that, and then put them into their own little pot. But remember that you're using gritty soil, so add gravel. You can use gardener's grit, but it's basically just smaller gravel, and they charge you more for it. Or sand, like 50-50 sand and soil. So, but yeah, I'm learning with houseplants, and I guess, Melody, when I know that you have like 4, and out of those 4 you've killed one, then maybe I'm doing all right. And Manuel said, thank you, Lisa and Tina. Tina is my sister watching, Emmanuel, and the one beside me talking is Melody, but I know you, we know what you mean. I'm too light, like, I can't see the comments on the light colors, so I have to, because they're white. Thanks, kept meaning to check. Lisa, if I want to have a nice plant garden, how do I nurse it? because over here is quite expensive. Okay, so the best thing to do, Emmanuel, is look what grows naturally there, and start with those. So if there's lots of it, some even things that might be weeds, they can grow really nice, and you can just have more of them, like propagate them, like take them apart and make more. And so even if it's a nice grass or something, you can just make nice drifts of it. And so the best thing to do, and this is anywhere in the world, is instead of trying to make things live that aren't from there, look what grows well there, look in other people's gardens, and then have those things and start with those things. Because if they grow there naturally, then they'll be hardier and they'll be easier. So less likely for you to kill them. And then you just have to be creative with how you do them. Like I said, usually you plant in like 3s or 5s. So if you say that, like I said, say there's a certain type of grass or a certain type of plant, have 3 of them. So, and expensive. Also, Emmanuel, if there's things that will grow there that you can start from seed, then you know that I have lots of seeds that I can get Steve to send you. So that as well. So yeah, find things that aren't expensive and start with those. And you can take something easy and cheap and make it look good. So for houseplants, this one, it's called the excuse my butt. What's it called again? What's this called? It's like not Moses in the basket. Might be. What's the other names for this? Mel, go on.
I don't know.
My brain, honestly, I have so many of these, and I know what they're called, but my brain's not working. So this is just pieces from one that's hanging over there, and they break off all the time, or you can break them off.
Is it type of spider plant?
No, it's give me a minute, and the name will come back to me. Anybody watching who knows the name can tell me. But like these, it breaks all the time. So you can see right there, it broke off. And then a new one started growing. But the other one is stuck in there. And I just stick it in and then it keeps growing. It's, oh, I can't look up on my phone. Are you on your phone or are you on your tablet and you have your phone beside you?
Are you asking
Yeah.
me? Joking. Well, the phone's in front of me in the ring light, and I have my laptop beside me.
So you can search on your laptop for me for something?
Yeah.
Look up Moses in the basket plant. And Emmanuel, the same thing. I know it's really hot there, but there's some things that really like it hot. And like, again, we talked about cactuses and succulents and grasses and things that will grow in any condition. So that's why you have to look around what is there and because then you don't have to spend money on watering them and taking care of them that way if they're hardy and they can go a long time without water. So the best thing to do is, like I said, find gardens that are there and go or see people who like plants and see what they're growing and what they find easy and start with the easy ones first. And it's okay if your garden looks like if you only have 2 or 3 types of plants, but you just have lots of them. So, you don't have to have all the different varieties. You just start with a few. So I can try and think of I don't know. I have never been to Africa and especially the area that you're in, but I can try and find what plants work.
Can you see my laptop?
Yeah, what are they called again? Oh, it starts with a T. What's it called again? Transcentia?
I'll read everything you told, like you said, look up Moses in a basket. So that's all it's telling me right now.
Yeah, it's Transcentia, I think, or something like that.
Yes. TRADESCANTIA. Tradescantia?
Okay, Tradescantia. Yeah, I'm not sure. But it has some other common names too.
Tradescantia?
Besides Moses in the basket, there's some other common names for it. And so there's so many different ones. And
oyster plant.
Pardon?
Oyster plant.
Yeah, okay, there's other names.
It says it's called Moses in a basket or oyster plant.
Now put in the word whatever. Put that in, and it'll tell you some of the more common names. Anyways, there's so many different varieties of that, and that's a really easy one. Any of the pieces that break off, or you can break them off, you can put them into a new pot, and you can get lots of them. I don't know if that's just Aurora getting some water for the kettle. Oh, you want to see something actually interesting? I'll show you something.
You know, there's a whole bunch. There's that word that I can't say. Trade.
Yeah, this is
whatever, however you were saying
this
it.
is the one
But there's like
that I bought a few years ago.
plants?
It hangs by the kitchen. It's still in the same pot I bought it in, and as they break off, I just add them to new pots. So I've made lots of them, and that's not what I was going to show you. Some common house plants that people have are this one, and my names are not coming to my mind right now. So this little leaf, I got a leaf from a person's house, and then rooted it. And you know this plant because our mom had it growing up in the living room for like our whole life. And it's a climber, so you can climb it up on things, or you can. But this was from one leaf, and I started it, and it's still in a. It looks like it's in a big pot, but really, it's actually still in quite a small pot. So this sits on top of my fridge right now. But I thought, okay, well, if I started this one from one leaf that I got from a friend, like literally broke off a leaf like this. You can even see on it, because it's a climber, it makes like little aerial roots on its. So, yeah, and I just broke that kind of not very good. See, like that. So I can just take that and stick it in water, and it's going to make roots, and this will make a new plant. So what I thought is, if this one came from one leaf that I got from somebody, I should start a new one. And so I did. I pulled one of its leaves off, and this is it, just waiting to keep growing. And now I just pulled another one off. So that's another thing with, if you find the plants that are easy to grow, you can make lots of them from cuttings, and then you start your collection that way. So that's something for you too, Melody, that if you're, and I've come to a point, because I feel bad when I kill plants, but there's two things. One, I asked my dad in heaven to take care of them and put them in my garden up there. And then also, we know the energy just goes back, so it's a process. I have to get over the fact that I kill lots of plants. And I'm really trying to, instead of buying any more, I'm trying to really focus on the ones that I do have and make, because I'm jealous of people who have these big old house plants, and I'm like, old? I can't even keep them for a year sometimes. But I'm trying. So
I've done good with the one that you gave, like grandma's, right? We've all kept those alive, haven't we?
Yeah, and that's funny because so my uncle Bob brought this plant home, this lily. He brought it home in early elementary, like kindergarten or grade 1 or something, and he is passed away. But if he was still alive, he'd be nearing 80 now, probably, because Mom's the youngest and she's 71, and he's the oldest. So if he wasn't 80, he'd be, around 80. So you can imagine that 70 some years old. When I first moved out, not when I first moved out on my own, but it was around 2001. It was when your son Breton was born, because I remember the apartment I was living in. I got this plant from my mom, which was my grandma's old lily from Uncle Bob. And then I propagated it and made it into a bunch of lilies for my mom and her sisters and her brothers, so that everybody in the family had some. And from that, new babies were born and everything else. So Melody has a baby from that. And the more people that have that plant, the better it is. Because if something happens to somebody's, like my mom's, if my mom dies, then Mom says it was Uncle Ronnie. But, okay, that's still only a few years off of Uncle Bob. But, so it's still like over 70 years old. It's still going. Obviously, it's babies, but it's from the same. So what am I saying?
Cuttings from the same original
Yeah,
plant.
so the more people that have it, the more likely we are to pass it on to next generations or whatever. I'm really sad that because I had to leave my houseplants in Canada, and unfortunately I had my furnace quit working in the middle of winter when I lived in Canada, and I lost all my houseplants, including Grandma's prayer plant. And our grandma died in 1996, so I was sad that I lost her prayer plant. But these are my grandma lilies. They were just tiny baby bulbs when I got them a couple of years ago from Canada, and now I brought home 6. So each one of those leaves is one bulb. So there's 3 in here and 3 in here, and the third one in here, it's still in there. It's just not old enough to make a leaf yet. So I have 6 chances of getting one like Melody's. And I don't know if Melody remembers when we lived together. When we lived together in 2000, well, it was the same plant. Oh no, I had already started them. So in about 2000, actually, before I moved into that apartment, I had split them. I just hadn't given them away. But when I lived with you, and we had that, that your friend Candace, who you lived with before me, she left that plant stand at the house in the sunroom, and then I actually brought it with me to England, and it's by my front door. But that had the lilies on it, and they bloomed when we lived together. Grandma's lilies bloomed for the first time in many, many years.
I had it bloom a couple of years ago. It was sitting on my mantle, and Mom and I had went for a walk, and we walked past the front of the house, and I'm like, what is that in my window? I would have never known it bloomed because it creeped behind the curtain and then bloomed. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the plant's bloomed. Look, Mom. So I would have never known had I not walked in front of my house.
That's hilarious. And if we're being spiritual, which I don't expect everyone to believe what I believe, but hang on, I just want to catch up on the comments. Yeah. And then Aaron says, try to watch, but wouldn't allow me to view. Weird.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Keep on trying it.
And then Samantha says, I love when we go on a walk and you start taking bits off people's plants in their gardens and taking photos. Now, Samantha, don't say that. I wouldn't steal from people without their permission. Maybe just in areas where,
like a common area.
Yeah, in a common area where I'm allowed. But I know what you mean. Yeah, taking cuttings.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'd obviously knock on the door and ask them. So, what were we just talking about? Oh, your bloom. Okay, so spiritually, the grandma we're talking about, her name's Georgiana. It's our mom's mom. She is one of my guides. And
not steal, acquire.
Yeah, acquire.
Lisa acquires plants on her
I
walk.
have done that too, where one person, they had trimmed their tree and the cuttings were still on the ground. So I was like, ooh, I can try and root these at home. So my grandma's one of my spiritual guides. That means from the other side. Like, she's passed away, but she guides me from the other side. And it's okay if you don't believe in this. Just give me a minute to explain my beliefs. But when I lived in Canada still, a few years before I moved here, I had that prayer plant. And I would have to look for sure if it was after my first husband left me and I was going through a really hard time. Either way, I was going through a really hard time when it happened. I didn't even know the prayer plant bloomed, and I have photos of it. But this prayer plant started blooming like crazy, and it wouldn't stop. It was like during my difficult time, it was blooming the whole time, and then it stopped after things were better. It was so awesome. And so I know that if I go and buy a prayer plant, there's a few different types of prayer plants, but why they call them a prayer plant, and I can give you the actual scientific name after, but they call them prayer plants because at night the leaves close up. So if I go and buy the same one that I had of Grandma's, I know it won't be from that one, like it's not the baby from that one, but it'll still remind me of her. Yes. So the best thing to do with houseplants and garden plants, and this is the thing, people don't see my graveyard in my garden. They think I have a really lovely garden, and I do, but there's a huge graveyard as well. So you just change out plants, right? And I grow a lot of things in pots here for a few reasons. One, because in England, things grow really well, like too well. So if I put it in the ground, it might be huge and in the way and take over. So I grow a lot of things in pots. I'm also scared of commitment. I'm learning which plants grow and how big they grow and where they grow. So I move things around to see how they look. But also, then if it dies, I can take it out and put something else in place. Although you can do that in flower beds as well. But yeah, so it's the same thing with houseplants. I am trying, and some of them are doing really well, and others, they don't do so well. And all plants, whether in the garden, whether trees who live for hundreds of years, or even houseplants, all plants do have a life cycle. So some plants do just have a shorter life cycle than others and die. For example, bromeliads, bromeliads, however you want to pronounce it. Don't go with my pronunciation because I'm not scientific. So they're like the air plants, and they will flower, although I cut off the flowers of this one. So they're like air plants. They grow on, there's a word that starts with an E, I don't know. Anyways, it means that they take their nutrients from the air, the water and the nutrients from the air. They don't need to root into soil. They usually grow on trees in the jungle and stuff. And these are the ones that you get the little dart frogs in. It'll collect rain inside of its. Let's see which one's a good one to. They have openings inside, and the rain will collect in there, and then the frog will go in and it'll lay its tadpole in that little pool. And that's how they grow, way up in the top of the canopy of the jungle. But once this flowers, and you'll see these as plants in the grocery store and stuff, people buy these as gift plants. Once the flower in the middle dies, the plant in the middle, the mother plant dies, and like this one, it has babies all around it. So the mom is still alive for now, but she's gonna die before, this is the mom right here, and she'll die, and all these babies that are around it are the next generation. So you can take those off and root them. So yeah, different plants have different, and then it's just about learning about them. I have another one here, but what? So this one, the flower's gone, but I still left the stem there because, again, I'm still learning. Like, I don't know when to cut the stem off. But you can see inside there, it has a big, oh, there you go. So that's like where the frog would, and then this one has a bunch of babies as well. So I've not got a baby to bloom yet because I haven't had him long enough, but I'm trying. So we'll see if that works. So give me some 20 questions. What do you think is the most interesting thing about other people? What are some of the things you'd want to know about people? You said you like watching when I have guests. What are the things that you're like, ooh, ask her this? Or I know obviously you could just type it and say, but what do you think is interesting about other people?
I like hearing their stories about you that we may not have heard of. I like seeing the connection that you have with other people.
That is sweet, and I love myself as well, so I like that. But so I'm taking that on board as something, but also it's also about telling their stories. And so I guess when they tell a story about me and them, it's also telling a story about them, but I also want to try and make the focus on the other person as well, which is something I need to work on, because as much as I love other people, I become self-obsessed quite easily. It's not on purpose, but I do. So I have to remember that to focus on the other person. So,
well, obvious questions, if you had a guess, would be like, maybe how many kids do they have? What are the ages? There's always funny stories when there's kids. So what's like the funniest story that ever happened?
I just need to grab a tissue.
Sure.
Usually they're on the shelf behind me, which is why I turned around, but obviously I moved everything to add more plants. So how many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids.
Boys or girls?
They are boys. One is 19.
Almost
and
20.
He still lives at home, does not have a job yet, but is saying he's going to get one in the spring. has a girlfriend, Emma, who he's been with for almost a year. That's where he is today. On the weekends, he tends to stay over at Emma's parents' house. Then my youngest is 12. He's downstairs playing Xbox. He does online school right now. His name's Brock. And this last week, we've been playing many games of Yahtzee. We're on a bit of a Yahtzee kick right now.
And what are the funniest stories that you have with your children?
You know what? There's so many, but Brock, the youngest, he is my pesterer. Like, he will constantly bug me and pest me. Oh, Sam's show is starting.
Yeah, that's okay, Samantha.
And he loves scaring me. Like, he will run upstairs and he'll set something on top of the door so that when I walk into my room and open the door, it falls on me and scares the crap out of me. But just 2 nights ago, he came for a walk with Mom, and we were walking around the lake, and I was in my own head, so I really wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize that he had left the path, and he had went and hid between 2 trees, 2 pine trees. And so when I passed him, he kind of growled and yelled at the same time. He's like, "Roar!" And I screamed so loud, and I jumped, and I was like, my gosh, I thought a wild animal was coming to kill me. Like, so, but this is just a daily thing. Like, he will find things.
But he's a master.
Again, a couple days ago, I was coming down the stairs, and my stairs, you take a flight, and then you got to turn, and then the other flight down. But so he hit on the flight that when you're coming down, you can't see because you got to turn. Well, of course, it's dark, and I'm holding on to, what do they call it? The guide rail or handrail. And again, he jumps out and scares me, and I jumped, but my hand was still clutching the handrail, so I kind of pulled my arm, and I'm like, don't scare me on the stairs.
I know, always good.
I'm like, gee whiz.
Always good to scare you on the stairs. I love being scared. Because I always tell my family, you need to video it because I want to see. Because I live in my own world, and I daydream all the time, or I'm just lost in what I'm doing, that I'm not expecting someone to be there or whatever. And Stacy says hi Stacy. So Melody, you're gonna have to tell us about what Melody or Tina said, the thing about where Brock thinks bacon comes from. Walk stories about Brock reminds me of path signs. Okay, so tell me about those things that Tina said about Brock in a second, but I want to remind you of when you lived up in Dawson Creek and your bathroom there had 2 entrances, one from the hall and one from your bedroom. And there was those stains in your tub that I was getting rid of for you, like hard water stains. And I showed Mel how to get rid of them, but they were tough. So I was sitting on the ground, like scrubbing the tub, and he would come in and just scare me, and then like I'd be like, okay, and then like 2 minutes later he'd come in and scare me again, and he got me like, I don't even know how many, like say 7 times. Like, he just kept doing it. He is.
And he'd wait just long enough that you got back into your head.
I know. You think I'm gonna know he's gonna come. I'm ready. And he waits just long enough that you stop paying attention. So tell me about these bacon thing and.
Okay, so the bacon story. We were talking about bacon one day, and I don't exactly know what was said. Kind of, unfortunately, it had to die, to feed us, but it's so darn good. And Brock's like, "What do you mean it had to die?" I said, "Well, you're eating pork. You're eating pig. Like, it's part of the pig." I'm like, "Why? What did you think?" He thought pigs pooped out bacon, and we ate. And that's what we collected. I'm like, so you're having a problem eating a pig, but you're thinking a pig just shit out bacon, and you're okay with eating that? So anyways, that was one of the stories. I don't know why he thought that.
I hope he was little.
No, like, this is probably just a couple of years ago, right? Like, old enough to know that you're eating pig.
I mean, I know we
And
didn't grow up on a farm, but I thought that our kids would know more than we try to let the kids know where, because I don't want them to have any false, like some people really don't know. And they don't like that idea of seeing where the food comes from. As you know, Steve's a third generation butcher, and then our uncles were farmers. So we know where the food comes from. We've seen them, the pigs hang. We've seen the chickens,
exactly.
So
yeah.
there's no, but also I was listening to a thing the other day, and there's obviously there's people who have different beliefs for different reasons, and there's people who don't eat meat because they don't like the idea of killing animals and stuff. And again, if you believe in the spiritual stuff, what the message was from the other side about eating meat is that it's kind of like the First Nations of North America, what they believe in, everything else. We are meant to eat meat and plants, but you have to be grateful and thankful for them. So the thing is, if people don't want to eat animals because they don't want that life to be over, but they'll eat plants. A plant is a living thing as well. So you have to be just as respectful to eat the plants as you do to eat the animals. And we all have our role to play in this world, and we are supposed to eat animals, but we're not supposed to do it in a, like, we even have canines, like we're meat eaters, but you have to, oh wait, are the canines on the bottom or the top? Anyways, I might not have them anymore because I've had too many teeth pulled, but you just have to be grateful. You just like thank them for giving their life for you to continue living. And I've said this before actually on my lives, that if I had to be eaten for the survival of another animal, then that's a circle of life, and that's just the way it is. It's not, yeah.
Okay, and the other story, I'm gonna see if I can show you. So we were near Tina's house when she lived in the River Valley, and there was this sign there.
A hiking trail.
The hiking trail, right?
Yes.
And so Brock had seen that sign, and he's like, well, why are we gonna go walk where all the people are buried? I'm like, what are you talking about? He thought that sign, I don't know how, but he thought that sign meant that there was people buried underneath. Like, I don't know if you poke them with a stick. Like, I don't know what he got out of the hiking sign. But yeah, he thought, Tina, is that right? Like, that's what he had thought, that we were walking where people were buried under the trail.
Here's a question. Here's a funny question for you. Whether you believe in a spiritual world, whether you believe you go into the earth and that's it, and there's no afterlife or anything, but you say you're buried, your body's buried in the cemetery, or you believe there is an afterlife and your spirit goes on somewhere else. If someone's walking in the cemetery and they need to get somewhere, and they're not doing it disrespectfully, they're not jumping on your grave or anything, but they need to walk over the grass or whatever where your body is buried, would that bother you?
No, I don't think it would bother me. But now that you say that, anytime I am in a cemetery, I'm very respectful not to walk over the grave. I'll walk around it.
Yeah, if you can.
But I don't.
If you can, but do you ever be like, "Oops, sorry," you stepped on one, and you're like, "Oh, I stepped on it. I'm sorry." But then that's.
Well, yeah, no, I do that too. I feel it's wrong.
Yeah, but if it was me, I'd be like, "I'm 6 feet down. Like, don't worry about it."
And you're not even in there. You're not there.
I know.
And that's just your casing, your meat suit.
Yeah, I know. That is something too. That it's nice to have a cemetery or a memorial place to go and remember the people who have passed. And I love cemeteries because it's such a nice feeling. And so our spirits of our loved ones will meet you there. But if you can't get to, say your parents are buried, like, well, my dad's obviously buried where you guys can't get there. I don't have to go to the cemetery to visit him. He can visit me anywhere. I have a place in the garden where I go and sit, and he'll be, or if I sit out by the fire pit, then he'll be there. So, you don't have to go to the cemetery to see them, and you don't have to feel bad if you can't get to the cemetery. But it's nice to have that place that we, that we can go to remember the person.
I have another story of Brock if you want to hear it. And it's probably the time he got me the best. The best. So after I had got the air conditioning put in, it wasn't the air conditioning. The furnace is vented to the outside now via like a PVC tube, right? That comes out. But after they did that, they didn't seal it properly. So mice were coming in just to the side. They could move the pipe over because it wasn't sealed. And so for a while I had mice. And for some reason that Christmas, just as a stocking stuffer from the dollar store, I had bought both boys wind up mice. Right? So I'm upstairs getting ready in the upstairs bathroom. I don't have my glasses on or contacts in or anything. So, you know, I can see fairly well, but details are a little blurred, right?
Sorry.
That's okay. And so I'm getting ready. I'm looking in the mirror and something catches my peripheral. And so I look and I see this mouse scurrying to the tub. Well, I'm like, Wah! And I run out of the bathroom and I'm like, because I see Brock on the stairs. I'm like, and he's laughing. I'm like, I'm like, and then like it took so long and I'm like, why are you laughing? And I thought about it. I'm like, you shit. That's that fake mouse, isn't it? Oh yeah, like scared the living crap out of me, but just perfect. Because he knew the mice were something that like I didn't like. I didn't like emptying traps. I didn't like even knowing that they were in the house. Like I liked nothing about them.
Just letting you
know.
good.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I'm alive. Oh, what happened? I didn't even know I could do that during a recording.
Do what?
Go sideways. Like I'm the long way now.
Oh, weird. Well, you're sideways now. What are you doing? Okay, there, you're the right way.
Am I? I don't think I am, but I don't know if I can go rotate your phone.
Well, no, now you're upside down. Oh, weird. You're upside down on my iPhone, but on the laptop, you're the right way. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'm going to have to...
You just think, oh, no, because the laptop is delayed. So
I'm going to have to... I don't know what's happening.
Okay, now you're sideways.
You can't turn your phone while recording, it says, but I still recording?
Okay, you're the right way right now.
Well, I must still be recording, but I'm going to say...
Yeah, you're still recording.
I am going to say goodbye because it is after the hour, the rambling hour. But I enjoyed another rambling hour, and I enjoyed having you as my guest. And
Thank you.
So anybody else, write down questions or message me questions that you think that you'd want to know about my guests, as well as if you would like to be my guest, let me know. This is Rambling Hour with Lisa, and join me again next Sunday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time or 8 p.m. UK time. And I love you guys. Have a great week. And we will see you next Sunday, almost the end of February. So, yeah, next weekend is February 28th. All right. Love you guys. Okay, bye, Melody.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Lise.
Bye. Yep. Press the red button, Grandma.